So by now I'm sure you've seen DOOMFIST's ultimate a lot, his Meteor strike, but do you ever wonder where is it going to land? Do you ever think it's going to land on some higher platform but it actually hits the ground below it? Or quite the opposite, you go on the high ground thinking he's going to hit the low ground and he smashes you entirely. The purpose of today's video is to answer all these questions. How does DOOMFIST's ultimate work and how can I choose where I'm going to land with it? Let's start with this first scenario here on King's Row. As you can see, I'm on top of this little platform here, but there's a room beneath me as well. If I use my ultimate here, where am I going to land? After my testing, I've concluded that if you don't move vertically while in your ultimate, which you can do, you will land at the same height you started the ultimate at. Which means, since I'm not moving at all, I will crash down right where I jumped up from the beginning. Now, this isn't the case if you move elevation, though, and you can move both up and down in elevation when you're in your ultimate, and it's actually kind of weird. Let's say I'm going to outside of this building here, but I want to walk into it. If I actually want to go in the lower area, I actually have to use the doorway as if I was still on the ground somewhere. If I don't use the doorway, instead, I will actually rise up to the next platform. When you're using your ultimate as DOOMFIST, you have to treat it as if you're playing Hanzo, I guess. And Hanzo can climb walls, but he can't climb the highest of walls. So what you're going to want to do is if you want to go into a building with this ultimate, you actually have to just treat it like you're on the ground and walk in while you're in your DOOMFIST ultimate. But if you want to climb, you're going to have to go to the side here and just push forward. It'll automatically do it for you, and it will raise your elevation. Now, this does have some caveats, though. For one, you can't hop up to something that you have no direct way to climb to. Like I said, imagine you're Hanzo. If there is a ledge that you can't actually climb to, even if it's really low, you won't be able to boost up to it and slam down on top of it. You have to like use a wall like you're climbing. I'll probably end up saying that 1,000 times. Treat it like you're going to climb a wall as Hanzo or Genji, and that's the things you can go up. Now, the height at which you can actually raise your elevation seems to be about the height of your rising uppercut if you don't jump. I'm going to show you two examples here where I can go up one ledge, but I can't go up another ledge that is very similar in height. And as you can see, I can rocket jump up to the first one. Sorry, you can rising uppercut up to this first one, but you cannot rising uppercut up to this second one. So that's about the range at which you can actually raise your elevation when you're in your Meteor strike. It's very weird and finicky though. There are some times where if I can't hit a height, I'll just back up and move forward multiple times across the wall I'm on, and I'll eventually be able to get up to it for no apparent reason other than there might be like a little piece of debris that somehow raises me a little bit. And then there are other times where when I'm trying to go into a doorway, it won't work even if I'm perfectly centered, but when I back down and move forward again, it will then work. When you hold down your alternate fire button, which is right click on PC, it'll normally show you where you're going to land, but I've found some instances where it actually doesn't. For example, I'll be indoors and I'll hold it down and it'll show me exactly where I'm going to land indoors. It won't show me the outside view, but sometimes I'll be under something and when I hold right click, it'll show the outside view. It will not show the ground where I should be landing at. So it works a little weird in that regard. Maybe I'm just dumb, and because that last example was like a floating ledge that you can't jump to, it knows or something, or it's just the fact that there's no roof and you're looking at the top down view. It's just a little weird in my opinion, so you should keep that in mind when you're using this ability. The last thing we're going to talk about is the ability to save yourself from falling off the map. In my testing, it seems like no matter where you fall off the map, if you use Meteor Strike before you hit like the little death barrier at the bottom of the map on the outside, you can always come back in. It's as if that height limit was removed from his ability and you can climb to the highest of buildings, be it the map. It doesn't really matter. Every single spot I tested this, you could get back into the map after falling out of it with Meteor Strike, which I found pretty interesting. That's pretty much all we got for today's video. I know it's short, but stay tuned for tomorrow's video, which will be much longer and very in-depth and will help improve your DOOMFIST play a ton. So I'm not going to say any more, but subscribe and stay tuned for that. I'll see you guys all later. Have a good one. Lone Hawk out.